Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I've been on over 160 different cruises. And most recently, I just got back from the Carnival Conquest, which did a weekend cruise to Celebration Key. And so this is my first time going to Celebration Key. It just opened up in July of 2025 for the very first time. So I want to make a quick video letting you know kind of my initial thoughts, my take on, hey, how is Celebration Key? Now, I'm not going to say that I am a connoisseur of these exclusive destinations that the cruise lines offer, but I have been to them 125 different times, mainly to Royal Caribbean's CocoCay, to MSC's Ocean Key. Those have been the biggest ones, and then Virgin's private club that they also have in Bimini. So let's jump on into what I kind of think of Celebration Key. So the first thing that I noticed when I got there is the pier's pretty long. I was surprised. I mean, I know piers for these destinations can be a little bit long. The ships are massive, and you got to park them pretty far out to get them in, but this was a little bit longer. So that is the first thing that I really noticed there. The second thing is they're already building a new pier. Like, it just opened up a few months ago, and they're already building a second wing, if you will, of the pier that's going to be able to accommodate one or two more ships. So if you know anything about that, let me know down in the comments. I'll be curious to see how quickly they want to expand this. It did look and feel on the island like they had the room or the space to bring in more ships. On this specific day that I was there, we were there with the Carnival Conquest and the Carnival Freedom. Both of those are smaller ships, and so there was plenty of room around the island. Moving on from there, you're going to find that there are two main areas you're going to be able to hang out in. The beach is what I call it, and then you've got the lagoons. So to talk a little bit about the beach, it is going to be the closest one to you. So when you get off the ship, you go through the pier, you're going to see the beach right there to the left and to the right of you. It's super easy to get to. You've got beautiful waves. You face the cruise ships, which you guys know I love my cruise ship spotting and watching cruise ships. It was just a super nice area. I like the beach a lot. Plenty of chairs, plenty of umbrellas, soft sand, things that I can't say for all other private destinations where they have an ocean access. And so I really enjoyed this area, and this is going to be my favorite area on the entire island. Going from there, you're going to have the lagoons, and so you've really got two different lagoons that we're going to focus on here. And that's going to be the Starfish Lagoon, which is going to be on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, you're going to have Calypso. Now, look, at the end of the day, these are both kind of the same thing, just flipped. They've got some unique features to them, but I found them not really that terribly differentiated. They seemed very similar with a few different bars or different kind of areas that you could sit, but they were kind of all the same thing. So I don't really have a recommendation on which one's better or worse. There is an adults only section for one of them, so if you want to find that out, you can certainly go there. But there were plenty of umbrellas, plenty of chairs. I was really impressed by how many chairs, how many umbrellas there were, and it was never that terribly deep. I mean, I think you'd see 6 rows, maybe 7 rows that you can go back. But what I'll say that if you want to find a really good space here, go to the back. Most people that get off on the cruise ship, it's a bit of a hike, it's a walk. So you're going to want to go to the back section where nobody else is going to go. We're going to take those first chairs. Us cruisers like taking the first chairs we get to instead of pushing on going to the back side. You'll find a lot more ability to get away. I was able to find chairs with almost nobody in sight. Like, it was really a nice experience. Very peaceful, able to read my book, and had a really good time there. The other thing that I liked about the lagoons, and the beaches had this but to a much smaller degree, is they have some really neat cabana areas. And I think they took a different take on that than other cruise line destinations have. And they've got a proper couch, you've got chairs. It's made for more people who want to just go relax, have dedicated shade where, if the kids want to go into the water, that's great, but then you have a place for grandma and granddad to hang out and be comfortable. So lounge chairs, as you all know, I am not a fan of them. They kill my tailbone, and so I can't sit in them for long periods of time. So when I see nice chairs like this with proper cushions, I get excited. Did not check the prices on how much these go for, but from what I hear, they are fairly reasonable, especially compared to what other cruise lines are offering. Now you've got a few different options on how you're going to be able to eat while you are at Celebration Key. So they've got a island eats concept that is going to be there. And so what that means is you get one token voucher that you can use while you are on the island to eat. And so they have different venues that you can go to. Primarily, they're going to have the food hall, they're going to have food trucks, and then they're going to have some more proper sit-down places with an elevated food menu. And so if you were going to the food hall, think old school kind of cafeteria. It really looks like the cafeteria that you may have seen in your local mall. If you go back to like the 80s and 90s, I would say that's what it reminded me of, where you queue up for kind of the station that you want, you get what you want, and then you go to the cashier to check out. From there, you've got the food trucks. And so if you are looking for something maybe a little bit more special, this is what I did because I thought the food hall was, more chicken tenders and more things that I just don't gravitate towards, the hot dogs and hamburgers. I wanted something a little bit different. And so I found on the menus, which you can find on the Carnival app, I found some tacos that I said, you know what? That sounds really good. Let me go get some of those tacos. And so I went and had tacos. The thing to keep in mind here is, when you go to the food trucks and places like that, you're not getting a ton of food. My tacos were pretty big, but it's then going to come with a cookie and chips. So it's not over the top. So just keep in mind when you are using your voucher, which there's multiple things that you can use it for, that you know what you're getting, and hopefully that's going to be enough food for you. You've also got some nicer restaurants that you are going to find in this exclusive destination, such as Barbecue and Brews and Gill's Grill. And so these are some places if you want more of a sit-down experience. So if you want to go kind of get away for a little bit, have a more relaxing atmosphere, be waited on, this is where you're going to want to check out. It is all at an upcharge. But often they will say that, hey, if you use your Island Eats voucher, you will get a discount. I think the food is still fairly pricey here. I mean, it is sandwiches, it's nothing over the top, but they've tried to make it special. But you're pushing $20 for a sandwich in most cases. With the discount, it's going to help. But I have a good feeling that as the island matures, you're going to see those discounts going away. The other thing that I will mention about, the Island Eats concepts is make sure you know what you're getting counts for your voucher. There are upsells all over the place on this island. It is a revenue play for food specifically. So what I mean by that is your island certificate, it's tough to know. So I went to a couple of restaurants first just being like, let me see what I can order. And it was not clear initially on, what the island voucher was for, what I could use it for. A lot of things are going to have a price beside of it. Those you cannot use the island voucher for. You got to make sure it's coming specifically from the island voucher menu. And the reason I couldn't really see it is, I don't want to say that it's buried, but you've got like 10 options you can pay for, and then you've got 2 options that are going to be part of your Island Eats experience that'll count for your voucher. So just be really careful on that. If you are somebody who, like myself, I got out there probably at 8 o'clock and I will stay till 3, 4 o'clock or whenever all aboard's going to be. If you get hungry twice, or if you get out there soon after breakfast and you go, I need a snack, you're going to have to pay for that. You only get the option to eat once, which I think is just kind of crazy. So I don't know if Carnival, you're trying to starve us out there, but if you go and stay on the island the entire time, you might want to take some food from the ship if you know that you're going to be a snacker. All right, so some of my personal favorite food options that are here. The tacos, they were just okay that I had. But places that I saw that I did not go to because they're an upcharge, again, there are a lot of upcharges here, was the Yum Shine ice cream. That is one place that I almost broke down and spent some money, so well played Carnival. Ice cream will get me every time, but the place that's more likely to get me, and this one was, really nice for me specifically, you all know I don't drink alcohol. And so they've got a 0 proof slushy zone that is there called Slushies. And I mean, they had probably 10 different slushy machines running with all sorts of flavors in them and things that you can get. I was really wanting one of these. It's 0 proof, so I try to, if there's something 0 proof, I will pay more money for it just to say, hey, keep doing this. I like that you have 0 proof options that I can get and feel fancy with, even though I don't drink. And so I may go back and doing that, but please do not worry if you like your slushies with alcohol. They do have a full bar there as well, and so they will be glad to pour in some alcohol, of course, for an upcharge to do that. But they do have the ability to make them alcoholic should you want it. One of the big suggestions here for food, and I'm talking a lot about food, but I think it's an important piece of Celebration Key, is Carnival. My suggestion, put the prices in your app. The Carnival app shows you the menus of all these places. It does not show you what the prices of them are, and honestly, I think that if you're a cruiser like me, the price of what things cost is going to help guide your decision on what you're getting. So just food for thought, Carnival. Now let's talk about accessibility on this, exclusive destination of Celebration Key. I think that it was actually really good. It is something that I think they put at the forefront. So the first thing that you're going to notice is when you get to that long pier, there will be a tram that's going to take you from the bow or the front of the cruise ships all the way to the entrance of Celebration Key. And so that cuts down on a lot of walking to start with. You can easily find seats around there, especially if you go early, whether it's on the beach or it's the lagoon. But they also are going to have two different tram lines that are going to be running. So you're going to have the Starfish and Calypso lines. So think of a half circle. So you're going to run them. One's going to go to the left, one's going to go to the right, based on Starfish Calypso side. They're going to come back to the top section of that circle. They're going to stop, and then they're going to reverse and come back. So each of those lines kind of runs a half circle, but it makes it really easy to get around. You just kind of got to know what side you want to go to, and you can always transfer once you get to the top too if you chose the wrong one by accident. So from there, you're going to also notice they've got several of the accessibility wheelchairs that are going to be with those big old beach tires that they've got on them to make them easier to push in the sand. But I will say there are really good paved pathways here. They are wider, and I think for somebody that is coming with a mobility device, it's going to be fairly easy to get around this entire island with some of the infrastructure that they have built from day one. A few items that I just wanted to note here because they were surprising to me. The first, it's not a private island. Celebration Key is not a key and is not a private island. It is a resort that is on Grand Bahamas Island, which is much larger. And so when I walked to the backside of Celebration Key, it was just odd, I guess, just to look out and see, oh, there's all the staff's parking. They drove to the cruise port because they live on the same island, which was just weird to me. This comes with some pros and some cons. Some of the cons to it, I'll start there, is it doesn't feel that exclusive because you can look through the fence and clearly see that, hey, there's more stuff out there. You've got Grand Bahamas Island. So it also allows the stores to feel a little bit more commercial. It's more built up. It feels more like you're on a proper large island than, a private destination such as CocoCay or MSC's Ocean Key. The Key and K thing confuses me, so hopefully I'm getting Celebration Key here right. It's not Celebration K, but I think it's Key. So the pro to it, though, and I think this is a big one for me, actually, is it allows you to leave the Celebration Key. You don't have to stay on Celebration Key if you don't want to. If you want to get some better Bahamian culture, you can leave Celebration Key and go explore Grand Bahamas. There are taxis that are going to be waiting for you. There are excursions that take you out of Celebration Key. It gives you a lot more opportunity to immerse yourself in the true culture of Bahamas versus, this sterile Carnival version of Celebration Key, one that I've given all private destinations a hard time for, because me personally, if you are traveling internationally, the Bahamas is the first country a lot of people go to. But if you are just seeing private islands and private destinations, you're not really seeing the Bahamas. You're seeing a very touristy, commercialized spot, and I love that this gives us the ability to branch out should you want to. So I think that's a really well-played move for the Bahamas and for Carnival in their partnership. The next thing to note in walking around here is the vegetation is just going to look sparse. It's going to look kind of small. Why? Because they just planted it 4 months ago. So it's not had the chance to mature just yet. They're not planting an entire forest in Celebration Key. But I will say this was the same thing with Royal Caribbean's CocoCay. When they started out, the plants there were super small, and over the years, it is this lush, vibrant green everywhere. So give Celebration Key a few years. It's going to grow into itself, this vegetation. Right now, it looks kind of small. I'm kind of worried a lot of people are stepping on it, killing it, because they don't have a lot of barriers or protection for it. But as it ages, I think it's going to fill in really, really nicely. The other thing that kind of just baffled me a little bit about Celebration Key. What's up with the castle? I mean, I don't understand why you come through Celebration Key and you've got this massive castle as your focal point. And I'm new to Carnival, so let me know down in the comments if I'm missing something here. But that has Disney, written all over it, which is its own cruise line. They have multiple destinations all around the world. I think Disney when I see a castle. I don't think Carnival Cruise Lines. And so I'm just kind of surprised by that. I scratched my head and goes, it seems out of place. I know they built their slides into it, but I just think that there might have been a different way that they could have done this. And the last thing that you'll want to know is the Wi-Fi that you buy on the ship and use on the exclusive area is not good. I mean, it was pretty bad. I switched off my Wi-Fi when I was in port and used the Grand Bahamas cell signal. Luckily, I have a great global plan where I can do that. But it was much easier to switch to the BTC cell towers in the Bahamas versus using the Wi-Fi from the ship. It just did not work well at all. So, with all that being said, final thoughts here. I don't think that it's going to be my favorite exclusive area. I think that, MSC's Ocean Key is still going to be my favorite. Like, I just love how serene, how natural it seems. The water there is beautiful, great beaches, though the beaches are kind of more rocky. They're definitely more rocky, which is a downside, but I think overall that's going to continue being my favorite. Celebration Key actually might come in better than Royal Caribbean's CocoCay. The reason I say that is CocoCay, even though it's got that mature vegetation to it, there's tons to do. It's over commercialized. It just feels like a lot. But I will give CocoCay kudos on this for giving us differentiated experiences while we were there. Even though you might have to pay for some of those, I feel like there's a lot more that you can do. If you go to different sections of, Chill Island at CocoCay, it feels different. I did not get a real differentiated experience at Celebration Key by doing Starfish or Calypso. It all kind of seemed the same. The main difference is beach or lagoon. That's really what you're going to find. So I'm going to be watching this. I think that it's got good bones, if you will. I like that it's attached to Grand Bahamas. So we'll see how it does over time. All right, everybody. This is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.